Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together.
Hey everybody, so I decided to go live today because I tried to do a podcast last night and my phone started glitching and I did like half of it and it deleted it and it was already late, so I was like, okay, I'm already a day late, so I'm just going to go ahead and go live tomorrow. This is my first live. I have two babies, as you guys already know, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they are awake right now. Very brave of me to be doing this while they're awake. But we're in the backyard, so you might hear some background noise. I just cleaned my house, not fully. I do have a lot more to do, so I'm just going to go through what I'm going to do today, what I've already done today, and it's going to be a normal cleaning walkthrough, just a little bit different. And so let's get to it. You guys, go ahead and motivate yourself. Do whatever you do to motivate yourself. For me, like I've mentioned before, it's if I get ready first thing in the morning, and if I, sit around on my phone when I first wake up, then I lose all motivation and I'm pretty much useless. So if I get up, if I get ready, if I get the kids ready, make breakfast right when I wake up and don't pick up my phone and start watching videos, then I'm usually pretty productive. So, that's what works for me. Also, my mom always said light a candle. Also, for me, if I open the windows, that usually helps me get motivated when I let some light in my house, because I don't have a very well lit house. And light and, the weather and stuff really does affect your mood, and your mood affects your cleaning. Because I know when I'm having, a bad day or a rough day, I don't get as much cleaning done. And then it's like I've talked about this before, it's like a vicious cycle, because if you're not feeling well, then, your house ends up suffering, and then you start getting more upset and depressed because your house looks like poop. So, it's a cycle. And I mentioned before that I was in a funk. In the last episode, I was talking about how I was in a funk and I really just got behind on my housework, and that's why I didn't do a podcast, because I was super behind on my housework, and I just didn't want to be hypocritical, and I just didn't really feel like I could motivate adequately. But my friend helped me, and reaching out for help is important, and she helped me and I got motivated. And once I got the main parts of my house done, and she really helped me get it back to where, it was supposed to be, and got all the stuff that had built up, the laundry and all that. Well, most of the laundry. I don't mind laundry. I did most of that by myself, but, like the main stuff that I was behind on, she helped me do with that, and then I got back on track, and I've been maintaining it really well. And sometimes you do need help, if you've gotten behind. Don't be afraid to ask for help, or to have your kids help. I know summer's almost over, and a lot of us that have big kids, we're not going to have them for much longer. So use them while you can. If you guys have been doing chore lists, make sure you're keeping up with that. Make sure you're having them do their chores and whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Once you guys do what you need to do to get motivated, go ahead and walk onto your laundry room and do a load of laundry. Do a laundry switch, as we like to call it. And, sorry, my kids are messing with the dogs. Don't put your fingers through there. They'll bite you. Do a laundry switch, and then if you have a load that's already in your dryer, just put it in a laundry basket or wherever you put your clean clothes, and we'll get to that after the episode. I'll remind you guys to get to that. And then while you're doing that, while we're on the topic of like cleaning laundry and whatnot, I went to my sister-in-law's house the other day, and her daughter, she has a 4-year-old, and she got gum all over the mats of her car, and it had like melted on. So she had the mats from her car. She had put them in the bathtub, and she poured vinegar on them and let them sit for like a long time. Then she grabbed a scrub brush and scrubbed them, and it got the gum off. So if that ever happens to y'all, I just wanted to throw that in there while it's fresh on my mind. I'm sure I'm going to have to deal with that at some point. So it probably works for like other candy or, melted on stuff, crayon. I'm sure it would apply to that too. So I just thought that was a cool little hack, and it definitely worked. I watched her scrub off the melted gum, and it just scrubbed right off. She had been, I don't know how long she soaked it. It seemed like it was a long time, but it definitely seemed like it helped. So anyway, once you're done with your laundry switch, go ahead and move on to the kitchen and start unloading your dishwasher or your drying rack and making room for those dirty dishes. I have been having a lot of dirty dishes lately, a lot of laundry, and I guess it's the same as usual, but when you're having a lot going on in your life and you have a busy lifestyle, I know you guys are like, you're a stay-at-home mom, why is your life busy? Well, just a lot of things happen at once. I'm usually a very boring person, but like lately I've just had a lot of stuff happen at one time, with Rosalie being sick, and just it's just been one thing after the other. Now I feel like my life's at peace finally. I have my car, everything's calm. So anyway, go ahead and put your dishes away. We've been home more, I guess, since things have calmed down, so that's why my house has been dirty. And then once you're done doing that, do a very thorough rinsing of your dishes. I'm like my mom. I like to start, you probably are too, I like to start with the small stuff, utensils, cups, etc. One, because they're the least greasiest thing, and so, especially if you're if you're hand washing, you want to do the small things first. Also, the small things fit into the dishwasher first, so you want to put all the small things in the dishwasher first. So I do that just like she does. And speaking of my mom, while you guys are working on those dishes, just be doing a thorough pre-rinsing, and after you put away, make sure you get all the food off the dishes. The more thorough your pre-rinse, the easier it is just to throw them in the dishwasher or just to quickly, wash them and put them in the drying rack. I like to spend a lot of time on the pre-rinsing phase. But on the topic of my mother, I am going to be going to her house soon, so hopefully she'll make a cameo, and we'll be able to do an episode with her in it, because I'm going on a trip to Colorado, and it's like 12 hours from my house, but it's like 8 hours from her house. So I decided to, kind of break up the trip a little bit, because Rosalie, my 1-year-old, hates the car. So I'm going to go to her house for a few days, let them visit their grandparents and everything. Since my dad's surgery, he hasn't been coming out here as often. They came down for like a Rangers game recently, but they don't really get to see the kids that often, and my dad's not working right now, so he's lonely at the house all day. And my mom's gonna start teaching. She got a teaching job, so he's gonna be bored, so I figured I'd go bring the kids before she starts work and everything, and that way also it breaks up my trip, and it's not going to be as long when I drive up to Colorado. I'm trying to convince my dad to go with me. We'll see if he goes. But it's like a family trip. We're going to stay in cabins. I've been saving up and making payments on it for a long time, so I'm super hyped up about that. There's so many activities. It's so pretty up there, and my kids' little cousins are going to be there. So my cousin Jasmine and her babies, Lorenzo and Alonzo, are coming. So my kids are super excited about that. Rosalie and Juliana are excited about s'mores. We've been talking about how we're going to do s'mores on the camping trip. We're going to go in a few weeks. Do you want to do s'mores?
Yeah.
That's what you're excited about, right? S'mores?
Mm-hmm.
I know. And Nana and Papa's house? Rosalie is excited to see the fishies at Nana and Papa's house. My dad and my mom have always had a thing for fish, so they have tons of fish tanks. You want to see fishies?
Yeah.
So just keep doing your dishes while I'm talking. Also, make sure you check your fridge and make sure there's not any, it's the worst when you go cook and you can't find like your pan that you normally use, and it's in the fridge with leftovers in it, and you're like, because you're already in cooking mode and you're like, now I have to wash this thing, get all the leftovers out. So that's why I always end up in that position, or used to. That's why I always check the fridge while I'm doing the dishes. So check your fridge, make sure there's no dishes in there. Also, if you have your big kids still at home, or if you have big kids, I don't have my big kids at my house right now. But if you do, maybe have them start doing their chores as well. Maybe have them gather all of the dishes from around the house while you're doing the dishes. That way you could do them while you're still in dish mode and while you're checking your fridge. And, it's always good to have them do their chores while you're doing your chores. That way it just knocks the chores out faster and your house out faster. You know what I mean? So anyway, just be working on those dishes, and I'll talk a little bit more about Colorado. We're going to be staying in a cabin with some family, and I haven't gone on a trip in a really long time since I was pregnant with Rosalie. I went to Florida, so I'm really excited, and I get to go in my new car, and it's roomy. There's room for luggage, so we're super hyped up about that. And my daughter is always talking about how she wants to go to Nana and Papa's house to see the fishies. We went to Cabela's yesterday because we FaceTimed Ronnie, my mom, and she saw the fish tank in the background. And you saw fishies, right? You want to go to Nana's house? And she saw the fishies in the background, and she was like, I want fishies. So we went to... In Texas, we have this place called Cabela's. I know not all of you are familiar with that, but it's this big, store. Oh. Sorry. You okay? She fell over. I'm sorry. You okay, baby? Okay, let's go play. Okay. Sorry, I kind of knew that was going to happen when I went live. But anyway, it's this store. It's super weird. It's like a, camping, shooting, hunting, fishing store. And it's huge. And they have these really huge fish tanks with these giant fish in it. So I took them to go look at the fish, and it's free. It's just something they have in the store to attract people. Everything in the store is pretty pricey, to be honest, but it's actually pretty cool. They have weird taxidermy animals everywhere. Here, go outside, baby. And Juliana was like, are those pretend, Mom? Are they pretend? And I was like, yeah, sure, because I didn't really know how to explain that they were dead. And it was kind of, I don't know how to explain that to a 3-year-old. I was like, yeah, they're just pretend. They just look really realistic. Anyway, but they got to see the very live fishies, and she was asking a lot of questions like, how do they feed them, And I was telling her how, because it was a big aquarium. It's coffee, and you can't have it. That's Mommy's. Okay, can you go outside? Mommy's got to do this very important podcast. Say yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Get out there.
No.
Okay, well, let me go get your sister. So while you guys are doing you should be almost done with your dishes. If you're not, that's fine. We all have bad dish days. Today I started on my dishes. I didn't want to do them while I'm on the live because I've already had my kids yelling in the background, so I didn't want to have too much background noise. So I'm going to finish that later. But during the kitchen portion, I was letting them play outside, but I will be picking up with y'all and doing my outer areas with you guys because it's not as loud. I'm just not going to vacuum or anything like that yet. So, baby, let Mommy do the podcast. Okay, so let's move on to wiping down. If you guys are still doing the dishes, then that's okay. You can pause me or whatever. I know it usually takes me probably the full 25 minutes that we do in the kitchen sometimes to do the dishes. I just, I'm not doing the dishes. I'm just kind of walking you through what I'm doing right now in the live. So pause me if you need to, but if not, if you're listening live or if you are not having a terrible dish day, then let's go ahead and move on to wiping down. So I'm going to do this with you because this isn't loud. I'm going to get everything out of my kitchen that does not belong and put it away. I've got like a lot of random stuff out. Like, why is this camera sitting on my countertop? I have like a bunch of stuff sitting out that shouldn't be here. Just little things. There's like cans of dog food that I just bought that I didn't put away that's just sitting on my countertop. I need to put those up. Stuff like that. Just, here you go. Just stuff that's out that shouldn't be. Put it away. And then, like I said before, look at your house from the perspective of a stranger and just try to find your hot spots in the house. Like, what would look bad if I had guests come over or your landlord or something? Because nothing cleans your house better than when you've got your landlord coming. Recently, we had like some leaking under the sink or whatever, and we had to clean up the house because the landlord was coming. And it wasn't too bad, thankfully, but I definitely was rushing around and wanting my house to look its best, right? So pretend like your landlord's coming if you rent or you have in the past, or if you don't, just pretend like somebody important is coming to inspect the house, or somebody, whoever you care about in your life, whether it's like a landlord, a mother-in-law, whatever. Just think and be like, if they were coming to my house right now, what would I want my house to look like? What do I need to put away? So that's kind of, I trick my brain sometimes when I'm cleaning, and I tell myself little stuff like that. So, sorry. She's hungry, so I'm going to feed her. And this is like real life. I have to, while I'm cleaning sometimes, I have to throw them some food. I have to, throw them on an activity. They don't always listen. Sometimes they don't let me clean. But I try to stay on task as much as possible, because if I don't, then I will never get it done. And I have every excuse in the book not to clean with these kids. So you have to do it. And even when they're crying, even when, they're not letting you just have to put them on an activity. Keep, tending to them while you're cleaning. But if you sit down, it's all over, and, you're not going to get anything done. So just don't sit down. Just keep moving. This is I'm letting you guys in on my life. It might sound irritating because of the background noise, and I'm sorry if it does. But this is how it is all the time. I've got the kids, nagging me, asking me for stuff. And, okay, so now I'm done. I moved everything out of my kitchen that didn't belong, all of the, junk that was just sitting on my countertops. Now we're going to get our Clorox wipes and our wipes, and we're going to do a thorough wipe down. Of the kitchen. Okay, no. Come here. We're going to do a thorough wipe down of the kitchen tables, the countertops, behind the sink. I'm going to wait to do that one because I haven't finished my dishes quite yet, because I didn't want to do that on the live. But yeah, make sure you're getting underneath the stove. Get those. I have a gas stove, so I have like those cages on it. They actually do need to be soaked. There's like some burn-on stuff on those cages, so I'm going to put some water in the sink and just soak those, because that needs to be done every once in a while. Look up how to clean that. I've done a hack on it before, how to clean the cages, how to get all that stuff off. Like, you can make like a paste with baking soda, and I think it's like hydrogen peroxide or something like that. or just kitchen cleaner or whatever, whatever works for you, degreaser. There's like really good degreasers that work. You okay? And, stuff like that. So I'm going to let those soak, and then I'm going to continue with my Clorox wipes, wiping down everything. Making sure to get in my microwave. My microwave's a mess right now. So I'm going to take the little plate that's inside my microwave, and I'm going to soak that with my burner cages. That needs to be soaked. And then let's see what else. Cabinets. Fingerprints all over the cabinets. So I'm going to wipe that down really quickly. I'm running a little bit low on Clorox wipes, so I'm going to use a rag today. I'm going to wipe down. Make sure you get behind your oven, that wall behind your oven. You don't want to get grease splatters up there and let them stay there because they will stain. So get behind there. I have like these little detachable things on my burner, and they get the same thing, the baked on stuff. So I'm going to throw those to be soaked in the sink with the cages. They're like little tops for the burners for my gas stove. This might not apply to you if you have a glass stove top. There's really good degreasers for that as well. You can let that sit on there if that needs to be done for you. Every once in a while, it's good to do that. I don't know how often you clean your oven or how often you cook. It kind of depends. I like to do mine maybe once every 2 weeks, like actually soak them really well. It's about that time they're starting to look kind of bad. And, like with everything, the longer you let them go, the worse it'll be, So, sorry, there's a lot of ums too. I usually edit those out. So, after you're done doing a very thorough wiping down, what I like to do, I usually save the mopping, to the end, but I do a quick sweep. So let me get my broom, and we'll do a quick sweep of the kitchen dining room area. And just get those crumbs that we wiped off the counter. If you don't have kids, you probably don't have as many crumbs, and you might be able to wait until the end of the episode to do all of your floors in one time. But I just like to do a quick sweep after I'm done wiping down, just so I don't track anything throughout my house. And just straighten things, like my little decorative towels. I have like a runner on the dining room table I like to straighten up. Things like that. Shh. Here. Okay, so once you're done with your kitchen, if you're still working on it, no worries. If you're listening to it live, then, you can come back to it later. Or if you're listening to it later on, you could pause it and come back. But I'm going to go ahead and move to my living area now. Because, like I said, I didn't do the dishes. So you might have a bad dish day and you might have used that whole entire time to do the dishes. That's completely fine and normal. I just skipped it because it's super loud to clang stuff around when you're doing the dishes. So I'm going to move on to the living area. I'm going to get my couch. Usually I would have my hand vacuum and go crazy with it, but I don't want to annoy y'all and have y'all hear that. So I'm going to just do my focal points of the room. I'm going to straighten the pillows on my couch. I haven't opened the windows in my living area yet, so I'm going to do that. Open the windows, let some light into this house. Oops. Just so I could see like any spots on my couch. I do see a couple spots that the kids spilled something. So I'm going to get while I'm straightening the couch, I'm going to go ahead and get my trusty dusty carpet and upholstery cleaner, the one with the little head, that scrub brush attached. And I'm going to scrub my couch. I like to just get the stains while I see them so they don't get worse, Perfect. And I do have some laundry on my couch right now that I pulled out at the beginning of the episode. So I'm going to get to that at the end of the episode. I'm just going to consolidate it and push it to the side and finish. My 3-year-old likes using the scrub brush, so I got the major spots, and then I'm letting her clean it. Okay, clean it up, but don't press that button because we don't need any more soap. You're going to make a mess. At least she's making a mess with soap, right? So I'm going to fix my pillows. I like to spend a lot of time fixing my pillows and my couch because it's important to me. And like I mentioned before, I have a rug. Everyone's living areas are different. I don't know how many you have, what it looks like to you. But the main things I do are, like with the kitchen, get anything that doesn't belong. If you have a coffee table, make sure you're clearing the coffee table, getting any like hot spots you have, anything that has accumulated clutter. I don't have a lot of accumulation in my living area because it's so small. It's more like my dining room table that gets the brunt of it, which I had to pick up during the first portion. But right now I'm putting stuff away, like the giant seahorse pillow I got from Cabela's yesterday. Why did I get that? I don't know. But the kids were playing with it, so I'm going to put that in the room on their beds. And then I'm just going to pick up the toys that are on the floor. I'm still keeping their toys consolidated and only keeping a small amount in the living area and keeping those behind the couch so it's not so much of an eyesore because my kids have this thing where they dump out toys. So I decided to not make life hard on myself and just keep only a few in the living room so that doesn't happen anymore. And it's been super successful. And that's like with anything. If you guys have kids or no kids, if you have something that is constantly making a mess, like say your makeup or whatever is really disorganized, every time you're cleaning or doing your makeup, or cleaning up your makeup, you realize like, okay, I'm dumping out this huge thing of makeup and it's making a huge mess and then I have to pick it all up. Well, then it might be time for you to organize your makeup, Same thing with toys. I was realizing, hey, it takes me forever to clean up these toys that they're not even playing with, so I need to consolidate the toys, stuff like that. Same thing. No, that's not Daddy, that's the trash truck. You can watch the trash truck if you want. So same thing with anything, if you have like a dining room table that it's hard to find stuff in and you're making your life harder, like trying to find movies or whatever in the dining room table or junk drawer. It really applies to anything. If anything is making your life harder and it's harder to find stuff in a specific area, like say you can't find your clothes you need to wear because your clothes are a big mess. Well, that should be a sign to you that you need to organize your clothes or get rid of some clothes and donate them. So if that is you, write it down, make a little note somewhere, put it on your fridge. I'm going to do such and such tomorrow and organize that if that's, something that's a hindrance to you in your cleaning. So I got my $12 ottoman, make that look pretty, put my hidden diapers in it. The kids dumped it out. So I keep diapers in my ottoman. I know, weird. I've talked about that before. She's almost potty trained, but not quite. So I still have hidden diapers around the house and wipes. Hi, baby. Shh. Mommy's talking to people about cleaning. She said, oh. Okay, so I usually do this when they're asleep. That's not possible today. Okay, so I have a rug, so I want to make sure my rug looks nice and not crooked. I'm going to fix my rug. Look at your entryway. Pretend like you're walking into your house. What's something that catches your eye? Is there anything that looks bad? Okay, I'm noticing my windowsills need to be wiped down, so I'm going to wipe those down. You do the same. Pretend like you're walking into your house. What would you notice as a guest or another person? Or pretend you're a house cleaner and you're walking into my house and you're like, what needs to be cleaned? Okay, my TV stand also needs to be wiped down. So while I'm wiping down my windowsills, I'm going to get my TV stand. I'm going to get my TV. I'm going to wipe those down. Sorry if I'm breathing heavy. I usually don't clean live with y'all, so I'm gonna get my TV stand. There's always fingerprints on that. And then I'm noticing some stuff that has gone underneath my TV stand, so I'm gonna get those out. There's some little toys and some books. And speaking of underneath, once I'm done wiping down, I'm gonna get my broom and I'm gonna sweep whatever's underneath my couch out from underneath it. Okay, there's like a couple shirts that, because I fold laundry in the living room, so they're clean shirts, and there's, some crumbs that I swept out from underneath my couch. If you do it regularly, it makes less of a mess. Same with anything. And I had like some blankets in the living room from last night. My daughters made me build a tent fort with a blanket, so I had to clean that up this morning because we went to bed late. Okay. So, and then now would be the time, if I wasn't worried about being loud, I would get my hand vacuum or a regular vacuum and vacuum my rug. If you have, and spot clean. I'm telling you, if you have kids, the hand vacuum is life. Like, I use it for everything. I use it to spot clean my rug. I use it to clean up just little messes. Say the kids, get some crackers on the floor. You just vacuum them right up. You know what I mean? Just anything in between your couch cushions, under your couch. Any kind of little mess, they're perfect for. You spill something in your pantry, get your, I've mentioned before that, like if rice or sugar or something like that spills in your kitchen, those hand vacuums are great for it. It was like the best investment I've ever made. My friend came over recently, I think I said this in the previous podcast, and she was like, when she was helping me clean, she was like, I need to get one of these, like, why do I not have one of these? And I have a baby. And I was like, I'm telling you, I use it for literally everything. I keep it in my car. Oh, update about my car. I, in the past, have not been very good about keeping my car clean. Keep working on your outer areas as I talk. But in the past, I have not been very good about that. But I've been taking the hand vacuum with me. If I'm going on a long trip, I set realistic goals for myself. Personally, I know that I'm going to let my kids eat in the back seat. That's just how I am. So I got those covers for my seats, and I wash them occasionally whenever they spill on them or whatever. And I just clean as I get home. Every day I make it a goal that I'm like, okay, we're home, so whatever toys these kids brought with them or stuff that I brought, because sometimes, I pack an extra bag if we're going to go swim or whatever. I bring that stuff inside with me. I don't put it in the trunk. I don't leave it to the side. I take it inside and put it away, no matter what. And even if I don't have time to put it away and I'm in a hurry, I at least bring it inside the house and put it in the living room so that I see it for later, and then I put it away. And any food, I vacuum it out or brush it out before I leave it, because it's super hot here in Texas, and you can't leave, little apple slices or something in the back seat for a whole day. Like, it'll stink. It'll be bad. So, bottles, toys, lipsticks, whatever I'm leaving in the car every day, I'm taking them out and putting it where they go. And it's made a huge difference. And I feel so much better about myself that I have a clean car. Like, I don't feel embarrassed to give people rides. I don't feel embarrassed when people help me, like, get my kids out, or, they're not kicking out trash or whatever. And I am the person with the clean car now. So I'm super happy about that, because I used to always, worry about my house, and then my car would get neglected. But now, I'm telling you, the podcast really helps me personally, because I used to be a person that, I would keep up with my house, like I said, but my car would suffer, because I'm like, no one really sees my car as long as the house is clean, but people would see my car, and then I'd be super embarrassed. And also, it makes you just sad and depressed, like having a clean car. Like anything, I'm telling you, being cleanly and your house being clean really does affect your mood. Okay. And it feels better that now that my house is clean. Way better. 100% better. So, moving on. If you guys are still working on your outer areas, that's fine. I don't know how bad it was. Mine was kind of in shambles, so it took me a little bit to put everything away that needed to be put away and wiped down. But for those of you that are done with that, let's go ahead and move on to the bathrooms. I'm going to move on to the bathrooms as well. If you have any dirty laundry that's on the floor, I have a couple little kid pants from their bath that I never put up. Oops. And get that. I have a laundry basket with some clothes. I'm going to move that into my laundry area to wash after the episode. I have a little bit of laundry in there. Okay. Now, go to your countertops. Is there anything out of place? And you see how, they're saying mommy, they're asking me. Usually sometimes it's easy to use that as an excuse, like, oh, okay, my kids need me, so. But they are not the boss, and they can wait, to play with their games or whatever until after I'm done cleaning, because if I stop, then I will lose motivation. So clear your countertops. Are there any straighteners, makeup? There are from me getting ready this morning, so I'm going to put that stuff away. I'm going to clear the countertops so that I can wipe down, put anything away that shouldn't be. Do any soaps need to be filled up, anything like that. I have a pair of shoes in here that don't go. I'm going to put those where they go. Okay. So some of us, I don't really have a problem with too many things accumulating on my counter because I don't have very much room for counter space. It's more like my cabinets that I have to keep up on. Also, if you have big kids or just other people living with you in the house, now would be a good time to delegate. If you have multiple bathrooms, I only have one. But if you have multiple bathrooms, it's good to delegate while you're cleaning this bathroom. Maybe tell them to clean their bathroom at the same time. And even if you do the deep cleaning, just have them, pick up. And like I said, I love putting on gloves because that way I'm not scared to really get in there. And Juliana likes putting on gloves with me. I don't let her touch anything weird, of course, but she likes putting on gloves and pretending to clean with me. So, and I have that little scrub brush I keep in the bathtub. That's going to come next. Okay, I've got my Clorox wipes. I have everything cleared off. Let's do a very thorough wiping. Do your mirrors first. Then your countertops, behind the sink. Make sure you get your sink, your faucet, behind the faucet. If you wear gloves, you're not going to be scared to really get in there and get down and dirty. If your sink at all is, getting dingy and it's not super white, mine actually looks pretty decent right now. But if yours isn't, that toilet bowl cleaner bleach stuff really works really well. You can use it like on anything. So you can put it in if you have a porcelain sink and you want to get it white, you could throw that in there. Everybody's sinks are different. I don't know what yours are made out of, but that really helps. And then I'm going to get my Clorox wipes and I'm going to do a basic wipe down of the cabinets. See if there's any like toothpaste splatter, the kids get splatter everywhere. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and get my toilet bowl cleaner. And I'm going to just cover the inside, the ring of the bowl on the inside with the bleach and let it sit there while I clean. That way while I'm wiping down, it's sitting and marinating, if you will, and cleaning. That sounded gross. And bleaching the... Okay, they do this every time I clean the bathtub. She wants to get in the bathtub. So I'm going to talk about cleaning the bathtub, not actually clean it, because this one's going to take a bath. Okay, whatever. So if you have toddlers, maybe you might relate to this. If you don't, then ignore me. But a lot of times while I'm cleaning the bathroom, if they're awake, they will want to take a bath because I'm in here and that makes her think of baths. So I'm not going to bleach the bathtub today because she's taking a bath. But she's going to go ahead and take a bath, and I'm just going to wipe down the toilet now. So I have that toilet bowl cleaner inside the toilet. I'm wiping down the toilet while they're getting in the bath. And make sure you get, all the parts that you touch first. And maybe use a new wipe when you're doing like the nasty stuff. Make sure you get in all the crevices. Like most toilet seats, you can snap the little things off, so when you're deep cleaning, you could snap the seat cover off and get a real deep cleaning underneath the lid. And I've been doing that. I never knew mine did that, and it was always a pain in the butt, to wash around it, and I just realized that you could do that. So that was a big revelation for me. I've been doing that. It makes it super easy. They usually just snap off, and you just snap them back on. It's really cool. A lot of you are probably like, yeah, duh. Like, don't you know about that? I feel stupid because I never realized they did that. So just be wiping everything down. Get a really thorough, and then when you're done, get your toilet bowl cleaner and just scrub the bleach that's in the toilet, and then give it a flush. And like I said, I keep that scrubbing bubbles or whatever. You can use like vinegar if you are a naturalist and like things to be more natural, or maybe you're pregnant or whatever. You don't want to use too many chemicals. But I keep the scrubbing bubbles stuff inside of one of those soap dispensing brushes with the sponge head. And I keep that in the bath. And while I'm taking a shower, I scrub, after I'm done washing myself, I scrub the walls of the shower in the bathtub and give it a once over. And this is really good at when it comes to like maintaining, because you're doing it every time you take a shower, so you're doing it daily, and it makes it really clean. And you don't have to keep it in your bathtub if you don't have a rack for it. I don't, so I keep it in like a little, I either keep it sitting on the bathtub, but sometimes the kids mess with it, or I keep it in a drawer that's next to the bathtub. But either way, keep it close nearby, prepped and ready when you go take a shower, and then just give it a once over. And then if you are doing a deep cleaning of your tub and you don't have little children like I do that demand to take a bath every time you clean the bathtub, you goofs, then you can bleach your bathtub. It's good to do that at least once a week. If you're using it a lot and you have one bathroom, you might have to do it more than that. Since I maintain and do the scrubbing bubbles stuff, like I don't have to bleach it more than once a week. It stays pretty clean. But I have little babies that are always in it and playing in it, so I do have to make sure I maintain a very clean bathtub because they're always in it. And you're showering in it. It's a place you get clean. You want it to be clean, right? So I still have to watch them because they're taking a bath. At least they're quiet, right? So I'm going to move on to the bedrooms though while they're playing in the bath. My house is, okay. One second. Do not yell.
Mommy just poured water on my hair.
Rosalie, don't pour water on her hair.
No.
See, they like interrupting when you're playing. Juliana, be nice to your sister. Anyway. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. Sorry, guys. Moving on. I'm going to have to close this out soon because they're starting to get rowdy. They're like, you've been talking for too long, Mom. They think I'm on the phone, and they're irritated. They don't let me be on the phone for that long. Girls, you want toys? You want bath toys? So anyway, moving on to the bedroom. If you haven't washed your bedding for the week, go ahead and get your bedding and wash that. And put that in the laundry area and make it a priority. Put it to where it's somewhere that's going to be cleaned first thing, and make sure when you're done with this episode, you wash if you're going to wash your bedding, make sure you make that a priority, because obviously you need to sleep in it tonight, so it needs to be washed. And I did get a new washer and dryer. I'm so blessed, and I forgot how it was to have a super good functioning washer and dryer, because my last one, like, the dryer wouldn't stop on its own, so I couldn't leave the dryer on, like, when I went to bed, stuff like that. And you just get so used to things, you don't think about it. But now I'm like, wow, I could put a load in the dryer when I'm going to sleep. Like, that's awesome. So I could put a bigger load in the washer. My husband found them and bought them recently. He got a good price on them. They're used washer and dryer, but it's better than the broken ones we had, because also my washer, like, would leak if it was at the biggest load. It would leak the big load function or whatever. So now I could do bigger loads too. So that's been a game changer as well. Anyway, off on a tangent. Go ahead, and if you already have washed your bedding, you could just make your bed, fix your pillows, make your bed look pretty. I have a taller bed in my room. They need to get out of my room, but for now I have a taller bed in my room, so I'm going to make their bed as well. I do need to clean their bedding though, so I'm going to go ahead and take their bedding off and put it in the laundry room, because I do need to wash this bedding today. Bear with me. I'm going to wash this bedding. If you have kids, highly recommend getting a protective cover for your mattress. I have one, and it's kept because we got a new mattress. I mean, it's been a couple years now, but it still looks brand new because we've had that protective cover on since Juliana was born. And let me tell you, we need it, because if you sleep with kids, if you have kids in your bed, if you don't, baby mattresses, toddler bed mattresses are made out of that material that it's, like, you can wipe right off, but our mattresses aren't, so you definitely need a protective cover. And also, it's a good thing to, at least every once in a while, vacuum your mattress, because we shed dead skin cells and it's gross. It gets gross sometimes, so make sure you're vacuuming your mattress every once in a while too. And if it wouldn't hurt to, like, put some baking soda or whatever on it too, and let it sit, and then vacuum it up. So I'm doing that right now. I'm getting all the bedding off my bed because it does need to be washed. It's about that time. I have to wash my bedding more than once a week because of my kids. No, you guys can only have a tiny bit of water because it's just a play. You can take a real bath when Mommy's done with her podcast. They're just playing in like an inch of water, y'all. I'm right here. My house is tiny. So anyway, take your bedding off. Pick up anything that doesn't belong. Clear surfaces. You know the drill. If you have any dirty laundry, move that to the laundry room as well when you're moving your blankets. I'm trying to stand at a distance because they're so loud. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it off because they want to take a real bath, they said. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for bearing with me. I know today's episode was kind of wild, a lot of background noise, a lot of craziness, a lot of ums because I didn't get to edit. But I wanted to go ahead and try doing it live this time and cleaning with you and just seeing how it worked. I did get a lot done, even though I wasn't able to vacuum or anything. If you guys want to go ahead and sweep, mop, or vacuum your entire house at this time, that would be what I am going to do after they're done taking a bath. I'm going to sweep, mop, and vacuum. I'm going to vacuum my rug, and I'm going to do a thorough sweeping and mopping of my entire house, and it really makes your house look amazing when you do that. That's kind of like, that's why I like doing it last. One, crumbs fall on the floor. Two, it's like icing on the cake. It really just makes your house look polished after you're done cleaning it. So I'm going to do that, and then go check on your laundry. since we started a load at the beginning, take that out and fold laundry. Put your feet up after you're done. Do the floors first, because once you sit down, you're not going to want to get back up. So do your floors, and then when you're done with that, go ahead and move on to the laundry. And kick your feet up, watch some shows. Give the kids a couple toys in the living room so they don't tear up what you just did. And like I put on my Patreon, I was like, I'm going to catch up on my favorite Netflix shows and have a folding marathon. If you make it more of like a fun activity, it won't feel like a chore. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to clean my floors. I'm also going to feed my animals. I usually remind y'all to do that. If you have animals, feed your animals as well before you do your laundry. But follow me on Jessica's Custom Work, all lowercase, on Facebook and Instagram. That's my art page. I want to start doing more of that lately. I kind of took a hiatus a little bit. I've done a little paintings here and there, but I want to do more. So I do custom shoes, custom portraits, etc. Check that out. Also, follow Clean With Me podcast on Facebook and Instagram. I'm more active on Facebook than on Instagram, but I will try to be more active on Instagram as well. Also, I'm going to put a link for my Patreon in the description. So if you want to support this podcast financially, next podcast will be a lot more polished, and you won't hear my kids. I'm going to do it when they're asleep next time, but I just wanted to see how this went. It was a kind of an experiment, and they can't be quiet for like 5 seconds, so experiment failed, but thank you guys for bearing with me. I've got to go. Happy cleaning.